Hey everyone, today we're going to go over 3 practice questions for the conjugate pairs that we just talked about in our last video. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'd recommend watching the last video and then get started on some of these practice questions. So I chose these 3 so that they cover most of the complicated topics or the things you might run into that might be a little hard to solve on your own. So I picked all of these for a reason. For this first one, we just need to find the conjugate pair of this expression, which is negative 2 root 3 minus root 2. Now it's important to think of a very simplified version of this expression. So you can just think of this as a minus b, where a is negative 2 root 3 and b is root 2. And we know that the conjugate pair for a minus b, or the conjugate of a minus b, is a plus b, right? Because that results in a squared minus b squared. So it's just squaring both sides. So where the conjugate pair of this would be if a is equal to negative 2 root 3 and b is equal to root 2, it would be a plus b. So the conjugate pair for the conjugate would be negative 2 root 3 plus root 2. So that one's pretty straightforward. And that's the first one done. The second one, we're going to rationalize the denominator. So we're going to take the radical out of the denominator and make it a more simple expression. So what we're going to do is, it's a single term denominator. So it's not even like a conjugate really. It's significantly easier. There's no a plus b, it's just a. Let's say we have root a, it's just 1 over root a. We can multiply it by root a over root a to get root a over a. Or you can think of it as just 1 over a times a over a equals a over a squared. Where in this example, a would be root 2 or 2 root 2. Both would work because 2 root 2 times 2 root 2 is 4 times 2, and 2 root 2 times root 2 is just 2 times 2. And I think that's the easier, it's less steps, and it's just less clutter, because you'd have to divide it out of the numerator as well if you did that. So what we're going to do is we're just going to multiply it by root 2 over root 2, and then this becomes root 2, 3 root 5 minus root 2. All right, we're going to FOIL that in a moment. And then we got root 2 squared times 2. And then we're going to simplify this one as well, right? We know right here it cancels out, and then we're done. If that's all the question asks for is to rationalize the denominator, then we're done. But if it asks you to simplify, which sometimes it will, and depending on your teacher, of course, they might ask you to simplify it every time. But when I was in high school, they did not ask me to do that. So I'm going to do it anyway, but know that you may get docked marks if you forget to do this. Alright, so we've got 3 root 2 times root 5 minus root 2 squared, which is just 2, all over 2 times 2, which is 4, right? And we know that radical times a radical is just the number inside of both of them times each other, and then that's in a square root. So it'd be 3 root 2 times 5, which is just 10. So we're just going to write it as 10, minus 2 over 4. And depending on your teacher, they may want you to put this in mixed fraction form. Mine didn't. Typically you don't need to, but I'll show you what that looks like. It would be 3 root 10 over 4 minus 1 over 2. And then that would be it for this one. Our third and final question is we're taking a function, right? So imagine this is f of x. So this is f of x equals root x plus 4 minus 2 over x. We want to rationalize the numerator this time, And don't let the x's complicate anything. Just think of it as a constant or a variable like we did before. We keep imagining them as a's and b's, so there shouldn't be a big problem. So we've got on the numerator, we've got an a minus b. That's our pattern there. So we need to find the a plus b version, which is pretty straightforward. So we'll just multiply it by a plus b, which would be root x plus 4. And we're not trying to isolate for x or anything. You don't have to overcomplicate it that way. You just need to get rid of the radical. Just need to get rid of that square root and then call it a day. And we're going to simplify this one as well, if the steps even require you to do that. Sometimes it already comes out simplified. I'm going to do that, x plus 4 plus 2. All right, and then this would become, what we've got, x plus 4 minus 4 over x root x plus 4 plus 2. Right, and then that would become x plus 4 minus 4, which is just x over x root x plus 4 plus 2x. This is this also simplifies to because we have x on both sides. We don't even need to do this, because up here they cancel out, and you've got x here, x times 1 over x times our conjugate, which would just be 1 over our conjugate. So this cancels out, that cancels out, that cancels out, and you get 1 over root x plus 4 plus 2. And then you're done. That's fully simplified. We got rid of the radical in this step right here. So just remember, sometimes you don't need to do it. If you're in a quiz or a test, you might not want to waste the time simplifying. So ask your teacher, read the question carefully. If you can save time by just taking out the radical, then do it. And that concludes our 3 practice questions.